dignity, shame, self-respect. Do I possess any of those traits as a sports fan? Hell no. I'm nowhere close to possessing even a singular one of those traits, okay? Why am I saying all of this? Because today I'm going to be talking about tanking, losing on purpose, wanting your team to lose on purpose, actively being happy when your team loses, and being sad when they win, and whether or not that's okay, right? Of course, I'm talking about the Dallas Mavericks, who, I made a video a couple days ago saying the Mavericks have hit rock bottom. That was after their first loss to the Charlotte Hornets on Friday night. And then 2 days later, they lose again to the Charlotte Hornets. And everybody rushes the comment section of that video saying, oh, no, new rock bottom, new rock bottom. No. I stand by what I said. The first Charlotte loss was absolutely rock bottom, okay? And the reason being, you had this 3-game stretch, 2 games against the Hornets, a game against Indiana. If you wanted to be serious about making the play-in, if you wanted to be serious about moving up in the standings at all, you had to go 3-0 there. No two ways around it. You had to go 3-0. The moment they lost the first game, it was over. It was Luke over. It was Jover, right? There was nothing else for them to do, okay? That was rock bottom. Everything else now is just, you're just down there, right? You've already established yourself. Now you're just putting posters up on the wall and shit. Like, you're already there, okay? Anyways, let's talk about tanking. Let's talk about wanting to lose on purpose, whether or not it's a good idea and whether or not it's morally okay for a fan. Now, keep in mind, whenever I say I want the Mavericks to lose, I'm not saying, like, I don't want the players on the court to actively be throwing the games. I don't want, like, Luka to be throwing the ball out of bounds on purpose. I don't want them to be shooting, like, 1 of 15 from 3, and after every miss, they look at each other like, you see that? I missed that one. Woo! Like, I want the front office to be tanking, okay? I want them to go to Luka and be like, hey, Luka, how's your foot, man? And Luka's like, oh, my heel? Yeah, it's perfectly healed. I'm ready to play. I want to get out there and play. No, Luka. No. Okay, we're shutting it down. Hey, Kyrie, what's up, man? I know your foot's bothering you. How's it going? Oh, it's going good. I talked with Footy, the foot god, and he said that I'm good to play. No. Kyrie, we're shutting you down for the rest of the season, okay? That's what I want, personally. Like, let Jaden Hardy take 35 shots a game. Let's just get to that point. And I don't feel bad about that at all. I don't think you should as a fan either, because anytime I talk about stuff like this, right, it's natural that some people, chirp back and are like, hey, like, that's fucked up, man. You should always be rooting for your team to win, never root for your team to lose. And I get that, and I understand that completely. But for me as a fan, I like to look at the whole picture, right? Winning, going what, 4-2 or 5-2 over your last 7 games and sneaking into the play-in to lose to the Timberwolves in the 9-10 matchup, that does not do shit for me. Okay, do you understand? That does nothing for me. I feel nothing about that. Okay, and I would be very upset if that's what happens. But if we could leave this shit show of a season with a top 10 pick, like, I know we're keeping our top 10 pick and we can move from there. At least I know, well, yes, this season was a disaster. Yes, it was one of the worst seasons I can remember as a fan. But at least we're taking, like, a high-end lottery talent that we can pair alongside Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving moving forward, assuming you keep Kyrie Irving. Okay, so that's just where I'm at as a fan. I don't really see any problem in rooting to lose at this point in the season, because guess what? This team has ruined it. Like, they're losing already. They're losing enough. I think it's funny because after their loss yesterday, Jason Kidd came out and was like, oh, it's easy to play down to your opponents. It's easy to play down to your opponents. Motherfucker, you are the playing down to your opponents. You understand? Like, that's what other teams say about you now. You're not playing down to your opponents because you're terrible. Since the All-Star break, you are a bottom 5 team in the league. You are the playing down to the opponents. All right? The Hornets, they're 500 since the All-Star break. They're better than you. Guess who has the number 1 defense in the NBA since the All-Star break? It's the Charlotte Hornets. That's actually a true stat. Go look it up. It's actually insane. Shout out to Mark Williams. Shout out to Dennis Smith Jr. for clamping up. Anyways, so tanking. Let's do it. And I want to address some talking points I've seen floating around. Obviously, there's some weird pick stuff going on, like pick protections. The Mavericks 2023 first-round pick is owed to the New York Knicks unless it's a top 10 pick. It's a top 10 protected pick. So if the pick lands in the top 10, the Mavericks get to keep it, which means the Knicks get the Mavericks 2024 first-round pick, which I believe is unprotected at that point. Like, once we get to 2024, it's unprotected. They keep it no matter what. Okay? That obviously makes things a little bit difficult for trading. And this is why I've seen some people say, I don't want to keep a top 10 pick. I want this draft pick to convey to the Knicks, right? Let's win as many games as possible. The Knicks keep our pick. That way we can go into the offseason with the ability to trade more future firsts for players. And I disagree with this very much. Like, I strongly disagree with this logic for a couple of reasons. One, a top 10 pick is automatically more valuable in a trade than like a 2024 unprotected first round pick. All right, especially considering let's throw this let's think about this, okay? The Miami Heat, for example. I don't know why I picked them. I just randomly selected them. Let's say the Miami Heat were trying to trade a center. Again, I'm just randomly picking a team here. The Miami Heat are randomly deciding to trade like an elite defensive center who's very versatile and would fit like a glove next to Luka Doncic. Again, I'm just randomly throwing out a team. Would they rather have the 2024 unprotected first-round pick or the 9th pick in this current draft? Like, what sounds more valuable to you? Especially if you're a team trading with the Dallas Mavericks, you understand, okay, if I'm giving them like a legitimately good player and I'm giving Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving a legit good player to pair alongside them, I know they're probably going to be pretty fucking good as a team, which means my 2024 unprotected first-round pick that I'm getting from them is probably going to be trash. Like, it's probably going to be in the 20s, like mid-20s, hopefully late 20s. Right? Rather than, hey, I'd rather have the 9th overall pick in this upcoming draft, and then we can go from there. Because I keep seeing this, that trading is going to be more difficult. I really disagree. Like, I think trading is going to be much easier. If you're looking to trade this pick for like a legit all-star level player, it's easier to trade a top 10 pick than it is to trade a 2024 unprotected first-round pick. I don't really understand that logic. So if the Mavericks keep this pick, they can only trade 2026. That's the only future draft pick that they can trade unprotected. Whereas if the Knicks keep this pick, right? And now the Mavericks don't owe the Knicks anything anymore. They can trade 2024 and 2026, or they can trade 2025 and 2027. And I still think a top 10 pick is way more valuable than that. Like, am I wrong in thinking that? And on top of that, you can move around in the draft. Like we saw last year, the Charlotte Hornets, they got like 3 picks for moving down a couple of spots in the Jalen Duren trade, and they still got Mark Williams, who's been tremendous. So you could do that. You could trade with a team that has a ton of first-round picks, and they need to consolidate their assets. They're trying to move up a little bit. You can get some future picks that you can move around later in trades. So, yeah, I would much rather have the top 10 pick. I'm actually shocked that this is even a talking point, but I do kind of understand it. And I've also seen some people say, like, why would we want to keep a top 10 pick? Like, a 10th overall, 9th overall pick's not changing anything for this team. And I get that sentiment. Like, very, very rarely are there guys taken, like, outside of the top 5 who are immediate, like, mega contributors. But I will say this, though, like, acting like one of those guys can't come in and immediately boost your team. Yeah, I don't think that that's right. Like, let's just look at last year's draft. The 10th overall pick, Johnny Davis, we won't count that, okay? Because the moment that pick was made, everyone knew that it was going to be a bust. Everyone was like, really? Him? That guy? Okay, so 9th overall, who was it? Dyson Daniels, is that who went 9th overall? A good defender, great defender, raw as a prospect. Probably not a major contributor immediately. Then you have like Jeremy Sohan. Yeah, that guy would contribute immediately, especially on the Mavericks. The way that he plays, his style, his defense, contributor immediately. Shaedon Sharpe, uber athlete, great prospect, could contribute immediately, but also a great trade piece if you want to go out and get a big fish in the trade market. You have like Benedict Mathurin obviously could be a major contributor immediately. All of these guys taken in the top 5 obviously would be big contributors immediately on the Mavericks. But even just outside of the top 10, you've got J-Dub, who went 12th overall. Yeah, that guy would be awesome on the Dallas Mavericks. A guy like that immediately impacting the team? Yes, that'd be great. Jalen Duren? Yes, that'd be great. Mark Williams? Yes, that'd be great. So there are guys around this range, the 9-10 range, where they could be immediate impact players on the team. And really, outside of Johnny Davis, who again was a complete and total fuck up of a pick immediately, like Dyson Daniels, some good trade value there. I mean, there was reports that like the Pelicans did not want to give him up in an OG trade. Like that was a line in the sand for them. Shaedon Sharpe, huge amounts of trade potential there. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Like I would much rather have the high-end lottery talent than just these unprotected first-round picks to play around with. I think it just makes way more sense. Okay, that's where we're at, and that's where I'm at with this whole thing. Shut it down. Let's lose games. It's fucked up because, like, I know the whole fan base agrees with this too. Because Mavs CBA posted a Twitter poll today, like, "Hey, the Mavs play the Indiana Pacers tonight. Mavs fans, what do you want the team to do?" And it was win or lose. And it was like 85% of the poll was lose. Like the fan base wants them to lose. They want to tank. Luka got his 16th technical of the season yesterday against the Hornets. So he was supposed to be suspended tonight against the Pacers and not play. But then the league went back and rescinded that suspension. They rescinded the technical, so Luka gets to play. And the fan base was like upset. Not because Luka was playing, but because it increases the chances of winning, right? Which is hilarious. And it's funny too because the league like clearly doesn't want Luka to get a top 10 pick. Like that's really where we're at. That's how you guys know the Mavericks should tank. The league doesn't want them to tank. You see what's happening, right? You see what's going on. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. That's where I stand currently. I am team tank. Like I'm here. Let's go. What do I make the play-ins? We can lose to the Timberwolves in round 1. No thanks. Like that's not really where I'm at. That's not what I want. That would not make me happy. I would not feel good about that whatsoever. At least if we keep our pick, like I feel decent about the chances. The fact that, one, we have a top 10 pick with the chances of moving up in the lottery. The Mavericks since 1985, since the lottery became a thing, they have never moved up once. Granted, they haven't been in the lottery that much recently, so shout out to them. But they have not moved up once. It's time for some luck. Okay? All right? That's where I'm at. Oh, speaking of the Timberwolves, I wanted to close things out by talking about this because it was just hilarious to me. I watched that Timberwolves-Warriors game last night. Great win for the Timberwolves. Bad loss for the Warriors. The Warriors are up, I think, 1. They're either up 1 or 2. I can't quite remember. But either way, they're up 1 or 2. They have the ball. 35 seconds left, right? There's like 9 seconds left on the shot clock, okay? And the Warriors decide they want to do the 2-for-1 thing. Even though they're already up, they want to do the 2-for-1 thing so they ensure that they have the ball to end the game. I hate this shit. I get it. I would love to see some stats to back this stuff up. But I get the whole 2-for-1 thing at the end of the first quarter, into the second quarter, into the third quarter. But end of the game, do I want to settle for a Jordan Poole dog shit 30-foot step back 3 in a close game like that has no chance of going in whatsoever? Or would I rather take the additional 9 seconds? Hey, yeah, maybe we don't get a possession to close this game out, but like another bucket here goes a long way in us winning this game. Rather than, hey, we give the Timberwolves the ball back. Oh, they take the lead immediately. Oh, and now we're throwing the ball out of bounds because Jordan Poole's on our team. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I hate that logic. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I would get it if it was a good shot, but it was an absolute dog shit shot. And I was watching, the reason why I'm even bringing this up, I was watching the Warriors broadcast. They're like, great, Jordan Poole going for the 2-for-1. It's a smart play. Smart play in that instance, 2-for-1. The Warriors are going to get the ball again. I'm like, dude, it's a close game in the closing seconds. Like, let's get a good shot. I would much rather a good shot than a dog shit step back 3. Okay? That's unrelated. Just thought it'd be funny. Every time I watch the Warriors, Jordan Poole is just doing something that cracks me up. Anyway.